Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Tarkov 101. Today is episode 7. I can't believe we're already on episode 7. Feels like we just started doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Like I said before, if you guys have any suggestions or questions, make sure you guys throw those in on the comments. But today we're going to be doing the customs loot run. I'm doing this on my normal account. That way I have max stamina, so it just takes a little bit longer to actually get to where we need to go. Plus I'll show you all the keys that you're going to want for customs and just kind of go through the route that I would personally take, when to get out, and if you get on the dorm side, you're going to want to go to dorms, and if you get on the I call it docks, or the crack house, or basically the other side, USEC side, you're going to want to do that side. I've made a ton of money doing this route. Customs get slept on as far as for money runs, and right now it's actually, in this part of the wipe, it's actually really sweaty, just because customs is a fun map to run, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people think that way as well. So it's probably not the best to do unless it's kind of early in the morning or like the slow time in your server. But without further ado, court is now in session. So this is the kit that I'm going in with. I'm just bringing the Raid backpack and all this literally because I'm on my chat account with my Kappa. It's just going to make it easier for me. We'll do the Tarkov 101 account for the real raids, right? Okay, so for your keys, besides these two, these are your customs keys, the primary ones that I would recommend getting for doing a loot run. You can run a sick case. I personally like the docs case because you can hold intelligence folders and a lot of other things inside of the documents case. I like the documents case better. There's some people that like the sick case better. Some people that like a key tool better. It doesn't really matter. Just pick what you prefer. Plus you get docs cases a little bit easier than you do a sick case because you get them from a task. But that's why I have this one. It is what it is, right? Okay, so first key you're going to want to have, number one key that you're going to want to have is the factory exit key. I would recommend this. This is like 49k on the market. It's cheap. You're going to use it for factory, the actual map factory, and for customs, and we'll go over where you can use this key and why it's useful. Second key that would make sure you would have is this one. This one is much more expensive. This is the marked key for the marked room on the 3-story dorms. This costs about 400,000 rubles on the market. It's a very sought after key. Second key would be the dorm room 110 key for 2-story dorms. This is on the first floor. This is a safe room key. This is the customs office key. This is for Big Red, intelligence spawn, and there's a safe in there as well, along with some jackets and some computers. The 105 dorm key. This is also in 2-story dorms. This is also a safe key. The 110 key on dorms, also a safe key. And the 114, something's wrong there. One of the, I think 105, one of these isn't a safe key. One of them has like a jacket, but when you're on that side, you need to use it anyway. So it is helpful. So we have dorm room 204. This is also a safe room. This is in the 3-story dorms as well as 214, same thing. So basically when you're doing this run, you're going to be hitting all of the safe rooms as well as the high tier items for the mark as well. You also have the key to the gas station storage room. This key right here will open up another safe room inside of the gas station. So it's also very useful. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into customs. We're going to go offline, and I'll see you guys when we get into the raid. So we spawned inside of the, I call this the USEC building. First thing you're going to want to do when you come in here is you can check down here. There's a gold spawn here. Gold spawn here. Also possible money, and then food, and there's 2 jackets here. Over here there's random barter items depending on what you need. You can grab there. There's also a few here as well. Random things will spawn up here: gas, filters, things of that nature. Also there's random weapons attachments on this table as well, which is pretty fantastic. The big item over on this side is in here. On the mannequin's wrist could be a roller. That's worth quite a bit of money on the flea market. There's also food spawns and other spawns inside of here. So once you're done in through this section here, you come down. Normally you can go straight up to the green screen room, or you can come check over here. There can be spawns of random weapons attachments, heals, all sorts of stuff on these two shelves here. Some lead pliers, stuff like that. There's also stuff on the couch as well as up in here for ammo. Game's kind of being a little bit glitchy here. Okay, so then here, this is the route that when I loot this room, this is how I do it. So you got your loose spawns down here, Tetrises, graphics cards, other stuff can be there. There's also PC block, 2 of them there. There can be like a vodka or a whiskey spawn down here. There's a bag here, and then I'll check in here for random stuff. And then come all the way around through here. There can be random attachments here, and then there is a jacket here. Then we'll come around, hit this jacket. Okay, so normally when I come in here, I come all the way to the back. There can be a fuel spawn as well as water filters here. Helixes, water filters, medical bags, random barter items. There's toolbox here. There can be stuff that spawns here as well. Another toolbox here, metal scissors. We got a bag here to finish it off, and then we'll go back down. And so you have 2 options here. You can push back on the back side. You can go to the front. I'm just going to show you the front side here right off the bat. So this is what I would probably do. Obviously, you're going to have possible scavs out here. You're going to have possible PMCs coming around as well. So you do want to be careful of that. I'm just going to show you where you're going to want to loot. So you're obviously, every time that you're playing Tarkov, every raid's different. And you're going to need to take in information as far as where PMCs are at or where the action's at, so that you can make a decision on where to go for this loot run. So it's going to change depending on the raid, but this is the majority of how you would want to do this. So there are 2 computers back in through here. Then we're going to go back in through here. There is a large green crate here. These can spawn really good stuff, but sometimes it doesn't. I've heard people get red rebels and stuff in there, but I've never found one. So then once you come down, you can look in here. There can be spawns as well. And then you can go all the way up to the 3rd. And there's another green crate here. So when we come down, there is a dead scav lane here. This can spawn all sorts of GPUs, all sorts of really good loot. Which we got a pistol. That's fine. And then there's a toolbox here, as well as loose loot on the table and the shelf. So then we can come over here. This is what I call the filter room. It's a really good spot. But first, there's a stash here that you can hit. Jaeger stashes have really good loot. Really, really good loot. So when I come in here, I normally come in through here first, and there could be possible fuel spawns, filters, all sorts of stuff. Then you can loot this large technical supply crate, which is basically like a giant toolbox. So you can loot that. And then normally I come over here. There can be med spawns as well as food and cigarettes. There's a grenade box here. You can loot that for a grenade if you didn't bring any in. Or you can get the fuses and do some trades for those. And then you have 2 coats. There can be random spawns in this shelf. There's a weapons crate here. Random food and medical spawns down here on this. And then when we come over here, you got a computer, another computer, a toolbox, random barter items on this coat. Come over here, there will be random barter items right here. And then you have another toolbox. So now we're going to come all the way back around towards the back. There is a Jaeger stash over here. Right here. Jaeger stash. Right. There is also a Jaeger stash on the very back corner over there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way on this side of this map, and I'll show you where to get your loot, where the spots are, and then we're going to go and start on the other side of the map and then come back around through dorms and do all the stashes on the other side. Not all of them, just most of them. as some of them don't really fit the actual loot run. So you can hit that one. It's all up to you. Typically speaking, I'll come up here. This isn't the best tactical spot because there's no place for cover, but you do have high ground. So it gives you a little bit of advantage there. Not much though. So as you guys remember, we hit the computers in the blue truck there. So what we'll do is come up here. There is a task item in the back left there by the box, but there also is a bag here that you can loot, as well as loose food and or meds in this spot as well. Nothing else in here. So you can do the jump over here. It's totally up to you. I would. And then there is a dead scav down here. This is an actual extract if you spawned on the opposite direction. But so there's a dead scav here as well as an ammo box, which spawns ammo, and the scav can spawn just about anything. So then we'll come this way. Typically speaking, I don't loot this building. There are some good loot spawns in there. And we can kind of go over that, but normally I just come and hit this stash here. I'll hit this stash here, and then I'll go to this building. But for learning purposes, say just pretend like we're not actually doing this for the loot run. I'll come over here and show you guys where the loot is inside of here. There we go, flashlight. Okay, so inside of here there can be all sorts of barter items, fuel, filters. Also inside of the truck, that they'll spawn down here on the bottom of the shelves. Inside of here on the pallet, there can be random spawns there as well. And then inside of here, there is a weapons box, which can spawn all sorts of different stuff. And then over here, there is a jacket, food spawns, as well as random gold spawns in there as well. Okay, so we didn't actually do that for this particular loot run, but I wanted to show you guys that loot in there as well. So normally I will hit this, and then you kind of have two options. You can go up the front here and then go in through this door, or you can just go around back. Normally I go around back, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to come in this way. And there is a weapons crate inside of here. Yeah, weapons crate. And then back here. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Thinking of a different spot. And then also you have a random like headset. So like these XLs you can find over here on these shelves. There's a jacket here along with random barter items. This is normally a pretty good spot to find some stuff. When I'm doing the hardcore account, I look there quite frequently. There is a car battery spawn as well over here on that shelf. So then we're going to come around the back, open the door, and 100% this is something you're going to want to do if you have the factory exit key, and that is come in here. And there is a lot of loot inside of here. I normally don't mess with this stuff in here. I don't find it to be the best place to fight, especially for probably new players. But this is the power button. This is for ZB13 extract. So if we push up our extracts here, ZB13 is the one on the very top, and now it just turned green because we just turned it on. So that means that we're allowed to extract there. And typically speaking, when you're doing a loot run, when you have this extra, or when you have that spawn, you're going to want to use that extraction. So I am going to come down to the bottom just to show you the main, like, best loot spots in this building. You can hit these really quickly. So there's obviously sugar, food spawns here. There's a bag here as well as a weapons crate. And then there's a big gold spawn right there. And then when you're running down through the bottom, if you go to the right side, there is a med bag here as well as a gold spawn, I think on either the dead body or right next to there on the chair. And then I think that's it. I don't think there's anything in the back corners here. I haven't really checked. Yeah, nothing left there. So then you'll come back up, and elite strength is difficult sometimes. And then come in through here. Now, if you want to fight scavs and you want to get the loot that's inside here, you'll come over here and you can shoot the scavs from up here. But you can also, say you know there's a bunch of scavs in there and you're not really wanting to shoot scavs. If you have elite strength, which you probably don't, you can just jump over the top. But you can also... This is hard with elite strength. You can jump on this tree, you guys. That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. So now we landed on top of the tree and we can jump over. Right? Easy peasy. But for the sake of that, we're just going to just jump over here real quick and I'll show you the loot that's over in here. So say we came in through this way. There is random food spawns and attachment spawns here. Do check this spot. You can find sugars. You can find really good stuff. There is also a weapons crate right here. And we are at Old Gas Station. So this is an extract. So inside of Old Gas Station here, there are loose loot spawns on the little like tables here. You can literally find anything in here. People have found red key cards, which are like 50 million rubles on the flea market, up to 60. Very, very important to check in here. You can, very rare chance, but you can get very, very good loot. So then down here we have a med box or med bag, and this is what we call the giving tree right here. There'll be really good loot spawns on the ground here, random as well. If there's a wallet on the ground there, do check the wallet and look inside of it because it could have a red key card, green key card, a labs key card, all sorts of really good stuff. There's also a Jaeger stash here. Jaeger stash. Okay. So once you're done with that, come in through here and we'll go all the way to the edge of this. Now you do want to be careful up here because as you can see by that sign, snipers is basically, it's telling you snipers, right? So I'll give you an example of what happens if you go too far. And you get shot. And we're dead. Okay, so now I just showed you that you can die if you go too far that way. I was really excited to try that. I've never done that before. So we're going to come back this way. And just to give you a both side view, there is a stash here. We'll go ahead and loot this. And we'll come all the way up to here. See the giant tree? It's giant. There's a stash right in front of it. We'll hit that stash as well. Okay. So once we hit that stash, we'll come in through here. Now you can do this two ways. You can go upstairs first or you can stay downstairs. I typically stay all the way downstairs, or I stay on the first floor. There's a good chance for a filter or gas to spawn right here. Loose loot, loose weapon attachments here on these stack of bricks. There's also a weapons case here. This is MGK, or the Alamo, or Rashala's Fort, or it's got a lot of names. The middle room here, most people call, I believe, Butts. Yeah, Butts, because of the posters. But there are loose food spawns here as well as loose ammo spawns. This room has really good stuff. Good gold spawns here, ammo and stuff spawn here, as well as there is a weapons box here, which you can find some good stuff in, as well as a duffel bag, which once again you can find some really good stuff in. Whiskey, it's 30k right there. Sugar, that's about 120k, and then vodka is good as well. And then there's also food spawns on this crate here. So once we hit here, there's random loot spawns here. I think food and ammo, if I remember correctly. There's also food and ammo that spawn here, as well as barter items. And then over here, you got food spawns as well. Inside here, this is like the big money hole for food and attachments and stuff. So there's food. You got a weapons case here, random heals and medical supplies will spawn on the bed. We got a weapons case here. We've got another weapons box here. And we've got a medical supply crate. So very good chance of finding quite a bit of heals in this area. And then you have your barter spawns inside of these here, as well as 2 jackets. So once I'm done with that, I normally go all the way back to the first stairs that we go to, and I'm going to explain why I use these stairs primarily if I am by myself or if I'm the first one to go upstairs. And that is because of this right here. So when you come up these stairs, you're going to want to look this direction. See how I can pretty much see all the way around with just a little movement? And I'm covered by that. So that's why I like these stairs, is I'm not exposed as I'm going up the stairs. But when I do come up, I try to look right at this point. That way you can kind of see. Because sometimes there'll be a scab right there where that blood's at and stuff. So up here... Oh, okay. So let's show you why I don't like going up the other side. There's no cover. You see what I mean? Like you pop your head out here, and then bam, if there's like Rashal and the guards, if for whatever reason they're aggro to you, they'll one-tap you instantly in the face. So, as I said, normally I like going over on this side. So we'll go over the loot spawns. I'm not really familiar with up top here as far as every single loot spot, but pretty much there's loose loot everywhere. So like on all of this stuff, I believe stuff can spawn, you know, light bulb, right? But I do know where the crates are. So right here, there's a medical supply crate. Once again, more chances for medical supplies. Over here can spawn stuff, especially on the mattress. There are MGs. This is a grenade launcher. So you can actually get on this bad boy and shoot grenades all the way over to the 3-story dorms. Just trying to remember. So that could take out people over in the dorms. Here's a rational supply crate. So a ration supply crate, sorry. So you can actually get food, cigarettes and stuff out of those. Over here, once again, loose loot spawns, ammo spawns on the weapons boxes here. You can't open the weapons boxes. But then over here you have a technical supply crate, as well as toolbox here. And I know there's a bunch of ammo spawns up in here as well. And up here on this. So one thing we do need to be careful of is people will go in that building over there where we turned on the power at. And they will try to do Shooter Born in Heaven up there. So if you are up here and say you're like over here and you're like talking to a buddy and stuff, you're leaving yourself open to get sniped from here or over there or really anywhere. So when you're up top here, you do want to be careful because you get sniped a lot from up here because it's a very open spot. So once you're done looting this building, I would highly recommend if you're full or say you've got some decent stuff, you're going to want to come down to the very basement. And we turned on the power earlier, but I died. So I had to come back into another raid. So the power is not actually on. So there will be a light on right there. That light will be on and you'll be able to extract here. And that'll be ZB13. But since I'm just going to show you all of customs and all of the loot spots, all the good loot spots for the most part, we're going to continue on through this trek. So we're actually going to go over to the mechanics room from here. So this is the mechanics room right here. Some pretty good loot in here. So you can get fuel spawns, barter spawns on top of there. There can be cigarettes as well as dollars apparently. Weapons attachments can spawn on this here, as well as barter items and other things here. And then I do believe there's like a fuel spawn somewhere on the ground over here. I'm not sure exactly. You can hide under here and like rat attack someone really hard. So say somebody like came in, you're like, oh, you know, you kill them, whatever, right? So filters and other barter stuff spawns here, as well as there's a toolbox. So then we can go into what I call docks. I'm going to go through the way that I would clear this building. I highly recommend you clear it this way. So you can look as there spawns here, right? Always leave that door open because it spawns open. So I'll check this room first. I'll check the stairs. And then when I come up the stairs, I look this way. Let me slow down a little bit. And then I'm looking here. You can't shoot through these rails. Hardly at all. It's very difficult to shoot through those rails. I mean, I shot like 6 bullets and only, what, 3 of them went through? 4 of them? So you do want to be cautious of trying to fight on these stairs. So what I try to do is if I see, like I just fought a guy yesterday that was right here. And he was really thick. So what I did is I came up, I saw him, and then I started shooting him here. Because I didn't want to shoot him at the rail. And they can't shoot through the rail either. But so we're going to go through clearing. And then I'll clear back here. And then I'll clear here, make sure this is empty. And then I'll come in here and I always breach this door. Because it's scary. And then we'll come in here. Just because this door is shut doesn't mean that somebody's not in here. Somebody could be behind the bench here. A lot of times people will, if they're going to camp this, they'll do this. And then they'll, I think you can shoot through that. Yeah, you can shoot through that. So then there are really good spawns in here. So paid, that's a Salua trade. There's also intelligence folders that can spawn in here, so you want to keep an eye out for those. They'll spawn on the shelves and on the ground, but there's lots of different spawns, different ammo, all sorts of stuff. I don't recommend looting these filing cabinets here because this is an extremely high traffic area because there is high tier loot in here with the intelligence folders. So then once I do that, I'll check here. You can get your medical supplies. This is like a medical area. There can be morphines, augmentin, all sorts of different stuff on these tables, as well as this shelf here. Then we come in here, and there can be Saluas, cars, all sorts of medical supplies up here. In my opinion, besides maybe reserve, customs is the best place to find Saluas and to find meds. There's also a dead scav that spawns here. If you just gotta kind of like angle yourself here, and you can search them. And then there's also loot spawns here and up there. There's a coat here, as well as a bag. There'll be food spawns on the table, and a lot of people don't know about this, but there is a gold spawn down in there. I don't think anything spawns in that box. No. Okay. So then this is the bathroom. You don't need to breach the door. I'm just doing it for fun. There's weapons attachments, all sorts of stuff on the ground here. Dead scav. I found quite a few graphics cards off of this particular dead scav. I don't know why. There's a jacket here, and then there's also ammo and other random spawns here, as well as a bag. There's nothing back here, just so you guys can see it though. This is a good place. So say you're deathly afraid, you can just hide back here, and typically speaking, if somebody comes this corner, you can mow them down pretty easily. Unless they throw grenades at you. But then here's the last room. Once again, don't need to kick it in. I'm doing that for Mike Knotts. What's up, buddy? So there's ammo spawns here. There's a jacket here, as well as food and drink on the floor. And then there can be money spawns here. And then you have a bag here. Also, there's obviously Salua spawn there. Okay, so there is a jacket in this room. Not really, you know, whatever. If you want to hit that, go for it. And then pretty much everywhere else, like in this construction zone here, there's a little bit of loot inside of these spots here, but that's the mechanics room right there. But pretty much everything in old construction area in this direction here, all of this, there's not a whole lot of loot besides up on top of scaffolding. Once again, I don't recommend you going up there. You're going to get sniped more than likely. Unless you're going up there to snipe, it's not necessarily the best place to go. I don't necessarily recommend it. So over here, there is a dead scav. If you need the unknown key, you can find this dead scav here. Unknown key. There are a few spots to loot up here. I don't loot this area almost ever because it's extremely dangerous because of the possibility of getting sniped from just about anywhere. So, also, if that light right there is on, that means rough roadblock is open and you can extract here. Or actually, it's over here. Sorry. You can extract here. There is a stash down here. 2 of them, actually. First one is right here. The second one is here. I don't recommend hitting this at the beginning of a raid. At the end of a raid, it's normally pretty safe. So you do want to take that into consideration. Some people do it right off the bat, as no one can really see you here. But if someone sees you go over in this direction, they're going to know exactly where you're going, and they're probably going to kill you. So we're going to go ahead and head all the way to the back here. Just doing some bunny hopping. Okay, so there's a few ways that you can get up here and get across. You can go through here, which is what we're going to do. So on your way out, you can do multiple things. You can go in this blue building here. And there's 2 jackets here. There's a weapons crate here. Filing cabinets, as well as a bag. Then we can go into Big Red. I normally don't go into Big Red at the end of a raid. I normally don't go there at the beginning of the raid. I really should go in there at the end of a raid. I feel like it's probably a hell of a lot safer than at the beginning of the raid. And there is some pretty good loot up here. But people used to camp this when I first started playing. They don't as much anymore. Or at least I don't think they do. I never really go in here anymore. So what I do is I open that, and this is the custom office key. So what I do is I'll open that door, and then I'll come over here, and you do have to breach that door. So there's an intelligence folder spawn inside of the trash can, as well as a jacket there. Random loot can spawn here. I have found a graphics card right there before, and I also have found a graphics card on the ground over here. There are a few task items inside of here, as well as a safe, and that's why it's a good spot to go check out, because of the safe. Saves can make you a lot of money, you guys, and if you're running a docs case, almost everything that spawns inside of a safe will fit in your docs case. Almost everything. So then we can come down. There are some loot spawns in here. I'm just going to go over the ones that we're going to run by. So here's a weapons case, and then there's also random spawns in that shelf there. If you ever need to ditch your buddy's gear, this is a really, really good spot to ditch your buddy's gear. This is what I call the black hole. It's gone. It's all gone. It just disappears right there. Little pro tip for you. Okay. So when you're done with that, you can go around this way. You can come in here, hit this weapons crate, as well as this jacket. And then you can zoom across here. Little pro tip, you can jump up here from there. And then here's your extraction point. Right here. But since we spawned it on this side, which you guys didn't see that because we turned that part off. Yeah. So, we just spawned in. We didn't actually. We just spawned in, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got a halfway decent dorm spawn, right? So we're going to head to dorms. So this is the other loot. The loot run that I would recommend doing is the dorm spawn, or if you just want to do dorms, then you can do this loot run. Okay, so once we start running out of stamina, I always recommend hitting the old painkiller before you go into dorms. I always do it when I'm out of stamina. That way I can gain stamina while I'm getting my painkiller on. Typically speaking, by then I can continue to run and get all the way inside of the dorms. This is the way that I always go into dorms. I prefer going in this way for a lot of different reasons. A lot of people like going into first floor. I like going in up at third if I'm on this side. So what I always do is I come up here, I open this door, and then I come in on this door. As soon as I come in, I'll ADS right here and be ready to fire because there could be someone holding that corner or that corner. Boom, boom, right? And then what I'll do is if no one shoots at me, I'll do this and I'll try to look. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the mouse wheel down and I'm looking left and I'm running straight for the door there. Right? And then I'll shut the door. So while we're in here, there's lots of rooms. There's, I believe, 26 coats and jackets inside of the dorms area. I don't really know where they're all at, but we'll find them together. I probably just need a bunch of keys, but... So I know there's... Oh, so this room, this is a fun room. You can actually get back there. So the way to do it is you kind of like power slide in. But I'm not going to waste your guys' time with that. Another good place to throw your buddy's stuff. So let's just actually do what I would normally do for a loot run when I'm going to dorms. So I would come in, I would check to make sure... Steven, cut that all out. Cut right when we open the door. Okay. So we come in, and what I would do is I look to my right with the mouse wheel, and then I'll run to the other side and see if there's a player on the other side. So I'll do that kind of in slow motion so you can kind of see. So we're just looking just to the edge there, and we can see someone in the hallway there by doing that. If we don't see anybody, then we'll come over here, check, make sure no one's there, check the stairs, run across here. Normally there's a scav in here if there is a scav. Check here and here. Check back here. A lot of times players will weasel their way there and you can't see them. I think they might have fixed it. But then this is the marked room key. Right here. This is the really expensive one. This is a very, very good key. And maybe I can... No, nothing good in here today for you. There is a SIG. It's okay. And a TAWS. So, I mean, this is meta right here. But anyway... So this is the marked room. You do have a few tasks. I have to plant markers in here. So then once we do that, we're going to use our other keys for dorms. We're going to go down to second. And we'll go to dorm room 214. We'll unlock the door. Open it up. And there's a safe here. Intelligence. 2 intelligence folders inside of a safe. I have never seen this before. This is all new to me, chat. Very, very new. So we're going to go in through here. We'll do a little jumperoo here. And then unlock this door. This is 204. Oh, yep, 204 and 214. So there is a safe on top that you can open. Okay, and then down here you can get random weapon spawns and attachments as well. So then once I'm done here, a lot of the times this is the way that I'll get out. I'll either shoot that window and jump out here, or I'll come down this way. Shoot out this window and jump out here. There is a grenades box as long as a food spawn right here. So if you're running out of grenades and you need them, it's a good spot. So for 2-story dorms, you can come right in the straight, right in through the front door. You can go that direction, or you can come around back and come in through the stairway up here. This door you cannot open. It's locked. But what I normally do is I'll just jump in this here window. Now, if you don't have max strength, so if you don't have max strength, if you're a new player, you're not going to be able to just hop right on in the window. You'll actually have to go on these trash bags and then kind of do one of those. It's really hard to do this with max strength, but I got it that time. So what I do is I always check to make sure nobody's hiding back there. There's a dead scab here. He can have graphics cards, all sorts of good stuff. Open the door. Now, when you come in here, you're going to want to check right and then check left. If you see a bunch of doors open over here, normally that means either a player's been here or scav boss is here. So you do want to be careful. So what I normally do is I unlock this door. I hit open, and then I unlock this door. And then I hit open. And then I'll hit the safe here. And then there's also a computer, as well as a meds box. So let's see what's in the safe today. Got a PC. And a medical box. Medkits. Alright. And then over here, another safe. And then what we can do is come up here, shoot out the window. And now you're outside again. And you're going to come in through the back door. Now the reason why you have to go out to get back in is because of that gate there. And then I believe it's this one. So this is 105. Turnkey 105. Safe. I don't normally hit this when I'm actually doing this loot run, but it is halfway decent. So another big reason why I have a docs case instead of a sit case is because of everything that you can put inside of the docs case. So a diary, the big ones, small ones, they both fit in the docs case. Not that they're worth like a crazy amount of money or anything, but it is nice to have that extra $316 no matter what from Peacekeeper. So once we go out of there, we can go over here. There is a stash right here. This is right on the outside of the bus station. There is also a stash over here. Once again, I don't normally hit these things when I'm doing my loot run. I like to get in, I like to get out. But if you like to push the boundaries and die a lot, then you can. There's also a stash there. You actually have to go around to the front side to get to that one. Yes, they changed it. They did not. And then there's also a stash over here. Right here. This is on the front of the gas station. Careful of a sniper scav. Here in the next update, they should be fixing that. Okay. So normally I do hit this stash right here. This is the first stash that I showed you. And then once I hit this stash, I will come over this direction past the junk patch there. And I will go through this hole here. And I will hit this Jaeger stash. Yeah. It's starting to get dark, so we're going to kind of pick the pace up here. Once I go there, I will come over here. Jump this fence. Hit this stash. Then once we're done there, we can jump back over. There's a graphics card spawn here, as well as medical supplies. Open that up. I don't have that key. I have the wrong one. This is the medical key. We'll go and I'll show you the correct key for this. But there is a safe right there once you open that door. There's a weapons crate here as well as a bag and tech spawn. So you have to close that. Okay, so what I would do is I would come back this direction and then jump over through here. Come straight up towards the tower. There's an M4 spawn on top of this, as well as a weapons crate. Weapons box here. Another weapons box here. Toolbox here, as well as another weapons box inside of that. There's a Jaeger stash here, as well as a Jaeger stash down here. This is how I normally find this. I run down here and I look for the pile of wood, and then I just go to the left. I believe right there. There's a stash there. And then if you head towards these structures of rocks, you don't need to jump over them, but I'm going to jump them. Come up here. There's another stash right here in this bush. Here. And then we can come down here to military base CP. That's checkpoint. There is another stash down in through here. As you can see, this route is super high risk at the beginning, but then at the end, it's pretty much just running and hitting stashes. You are going to run into players at dorms, and you are going to run into players out through here. But it's a good route run. Good loot run. So there's a stash here as well. Then we can continue running on through here. Wasn't expecting it to get dark this fast. Okay, so up here, I'm just going to skip all of this. There's really not any point into looting anything over in this area over here, in my opinion. There is a stash over here in this bush. It's a very good stash. Not very many people hit this one, and you're pretty concealed here. So then you'll hit that, and then normally I come over towards this crate here. And there's food spawns, there's a bag, Tashunka there, there's random weapons parts here. And there's toolbox here, as well as weapons attachments. And then at the beginning of this Tarkov 101, we talked about this stash right here. Boom, stash. And then we'll just hit this stash over here in the back corner and we'll extract. There also is a stash over there, but I already showed you where that one is. And I already showed you where that one is, so we're just going to go to the extraction point. But you can loot this whole back area if it hasn't been looted yet. And then when you come in through here, I normally pre-fire, because a lot of people like to camp down here. Or you can just throw a nade. It's totally up to you. But that's the 2 loot runs that I recommend doing for customs. It's easy to do because it's very linear. There's customs is very much a Call of Duty-esque map where there's 3 lanes. And so even since the expansion, it just kind of widened out the lanes itself. But for a loot run, as far as customs go, you can get in, you can get out in 10 minutes, and you can make a lot of money. Okay, for our loot spawn run, when we spawn in at the USEC building here, we will loot both top sides of the USEC building, head out and hit the car extract. We came back and hit the stash over by the ZB11 extract. I call that the filter room. We looted all of that, as well as hit the back corner Jaeger stash. We did the jump over by the train, and we went into the container building and the storage building, hit the Jaeger stashes on the way, went into warehouse 4, which is the power button building, and we hit the power so that we could get the extract at ZB13. We went all the way around to old gas station and hit those loot spots, as well as Jaeger stash. Then we went across the train and hit the Jaeger stash in the back corner, and then went to Fortress and looted up in there, and we would extract there for the loot run. Now, if we spawn in at the other side, we would say we spawned in at train to port. We would go across the junk bridge, cut across and hit 3-story dorms, go up to the 3rd story, hit marked room. There are 2 safes inside of 3-story. Typically speaking, if I do a marked room run, I will hit those. Those are on 2nd floor. We would hit marked room, then the 2 safes, and we would go over to 2-story and hit the 2 safe rooms that are on 1st floor, jump out the back, come around camp 2, come all the way across towards the road to military base. We could hit the stashes on our way. One is here and one is here at this star. Then we also have another stash here as well as here. And then one back at the military base checkpoint. Then we would cut all the way down to scav checkpoint through admin gate. We could on this run hit the USEC building here and then the smokestack and then the filter room. But instead, most of the time I would just go into the ZB14 extract. And that is the loot runs for customs. So that is going to be the end of this episode, Tarkov 101. Thank you guys for everything. Once again, if you guys have any questions, if you have any ideas, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that bell. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Court is now adjourned.